Alright guys, what is going on? TheAireaidLord is here, back with some afterthoughts on that mid-season premiere. Still haven't changed out of the Patriot sweatshirt. No, it's kind of cold here. Winter hasn't receded yet, so I'm still trying to keep warm here. But anyway, this is just kind of like an afterthoughts video just on the premiere. What I think about the show after, Carl exiting, and just some of the things that I'm looking forward to for the rest of the season. Some things that kind of came to mind while I was watching the episode that I didn't get to fully flesh out while I was sitting there. As that often happens, I don't get to do all of my afterthoughts all at once. So it's, man, again, I went into that episode knowing just how sad it was going to be. And I watched The Talking Dead after. I saw Chandler on there. He seemed to be tearing up a little bit, as all actors do. I mean, especially someone like him who's been on it since the very beginning. I have to imagine, another actor who's been there the longest. I think when it's Rick, Carol, and Daryl's turn, they're gonna have the same reaction. They're the remaining three from that Atlanta camp. They're the only ones left from that group. If you count Morgan, he wasn't really part of the group to begin with, but Morgan's actor, Lenny James, has said many times that he is no longer going to be on the show. So does his character get killed off, or does he leave and then meet up with the Fear the Walking Dead crew? Because I don't know if you guys noticed this, or I don't know if I've discussed it on the channel, but Fear the Walking Dead has Lenny James, Morgan's character, in it. And I thought this would be like past Morgan. I thought it would be Morgan when he still had his wife and kid, and he would just meet up, because the Fear the Walking Dead timeline is while Rick's in a coma. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Morgan runs into them, and then, he just transitions over to Georgia, where Rick runs into him in Season 1. Apparently that's not the case. Morgan, in the promo pictures, he has his bow staff, and it's the sharpened version. So it's not like this is post-Eastman Morgan, where he was the more Zen Buddhist. This must be after the events of All Out War, because the one side of the stick is sharpened, and we know that he did that in episode 13 of season 7. So whatever those promo images are from that's in Fear the Walking Dead, it has to be beyond season 8. So something, I don't know, maybe Morgan just can't emotionally handle himself and he has to leave. We saw a lot of that this past episode. I mean, geez, he went to the darkest of the dark places. I mean, you thought Morgan crying out, I gotta clear, Rick. You thought that was the worst? Try ripping a guy's heart out through his open wound. It was funny, a friend of mine texted me after that and was like, is that even physically possible? And I'm like, yeah, it's physically possible. I mean, well, it depends. I didn't see him get shot. I mean, it was a very quick action scene. I mean, I guess if the assault rifle bullets ripped open his inside, the side of his gut, and the wound is exposed, I guess somebody with enough tenacity and ferociousness could easily just reach inside and rip things out, So. And it's cool because they also then filmed it like a Michael Myers chase, where Gavin's running away and Morgan's just stalking him, dragging the stick through the dirt, and then he's hiding in the boxcar, and you think he's gone, and he throws him out. I'm like, holy shit! Like this is almost like where we are afraid for Gavin, because I mean, he of all the savior lieutenants, he was really the only one that was rational. And he even said this. He said that in this episode. He was like, "I liked you, Ezekiel. I kept my word." And it's like, yeah, that's true. It was, if anyone, he should be blaming his little padre and partner in crime, Jared, the guy with the long hair, the one that's currently a prisoner at the hilltop. Yeah, he should be thanking him, because he's the one that shot Benjamin in the leg. Honestly, because he was supposed to kill Richard. And Richard asked for it, and then he was like, oh, because Benjamin insulted him. That was it. He called him a rat-faced prick, and then it really pissed him off, so he aimed down, shot his leg, broke his femoral artery, and he bled out and killed him. So, and that ignited the spark of Crazy Morgan. Now, I have to assume that Crazy Morgan's going to kill that fucking guy at some point later this season. I just know it. I know it. By the end of this season 8, that Jared guy is going to get fucking killed. He's not going to be a POW for long. He's either going to get out, or he's going to be... You know, I mean, that's what I see happening. He's going to escape, and then Morgan's going to track him down and kill him in some justified way. Or, hey, it might be the kid. I mean, we saw Henry surprisingly take that kill from Morgan, and it was really nice because it lined up with what Carl was talking about, because Carl still talks about how he has regrets about killing the Woodbury soldier, that random kid, and it's basically a metaphor for, and then it goes into Carl's vision. He's like, well, I don't want there to be a future where everyone's killing each other. I want a future where we're all working together and there's actually something to live for. And you see someone like Henry, it's like, oh shit, are we not raising the next generation correctly? And that was plastered on Morgan, Carol, and Ezekiel's faces when they saw him stabbed through the throat, and then they're like, oh shit, like, we have not been sheltering this kid properly. Well, I mean, first of all, he doesn't listen. Maybe he is the new... I've been saying this, like, people are like, oh, maybe Henry's the new Carl. It's like, no, he can't be. He hasn't been in the show long enough. But now... At this point, I'm not sure, because he has some of the traits of Carl, because first of all, he doesn't freaking listen, stay in the house, stay with your group, and this is 2 times he has ignored Carol. The first time was, when was it? Yeah, it was back a few episodes ago when Carol was in the woods, and then Henry's like, I want to fight, my brother was killed, and I want to fight, and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't listen, of course, and then now he doesn't listen again, and he ends up killing somebody. Who, it's not good for mental development. We saw how Carl almost tipped off on the deep end by accident, and it really took some nurturing and some parenting by Rick to really bring him around. So, but anyway, so those are some of my thoughts for the rest, or just for the episode. It was just I like how they... Because we knew going into this it was just going to be a lot of Carl on his deathbed, like, take care, Rick, like, oh, like, just moaning and saying his goodbyes. And so the only other thing we got out of it was that the part of the group is going on foot to the hilltop, because it's the only stronghold left. Technically the kingdom is, if you think about it, because Morgan and Carol cleared out all of Gavin's soldiers, including Gavin himself. So, technically, the kingdom is somewhere there they could... I mean, I get it. They have the POWs there. Maggie's there, pregnant. She's pregnant, and they've still got soldiers. That's another important thing. The kingdom lost all of its fighting men back in episode 4 when they got hit by the 50 cal. So, if you're going to say there's still soldiers with the hilltop, and then they got to unite with the remaining Alexandrians. So, it seems like that's where everyone's going. Everyone's going to make the final stand at the hilltop, which is going to be cool. I like that. I like how it's going to be like the last stand. That's been all the promos for this this half season. Next episode is going to deal with 2 groups, like the outlying groups that we don't really know where they're at. The Junkyard and the Oceanside. And there's in the previews to this, it's actually the Lost and the Plunderers. So I think that's actually literally describing those 2 groups. The Lost, probably the women, all the women from the Oceanside who just don't know what the hell to do, especially since the grandma was just killed. And then the Plunderers. Obviously, you have the Junkyard people who are lost on the other end of the spectrum, where they don't know what they're doing, but they just take things. They've jumped back and forth. They were on Rick's side, then they were on Negan's side, then they went back to Rick's side, and now Simon... It's actually Negan said it in a preview. He's like, those triple-crossing bastards. So now Simon's going to go back and either say, you better cross back to us, or we're going to kill all of you. Now, some of the previews have been a little spoilery, because it shows... There was one preview that showed Rick and Michonne crawling out of the junkyard with a whole bunch of walkers, and the walkers looked like they had the black attire, the black linen cloth that all of the junkyard people had. So in my mind... Simon is gonna blow a fuse, and someone's gonna piss him off, or Jadis's backward language is gonna piss him off, and he's gonna just kill them all. We saw Jadis crying in the promo. Remember, she's sitting on top of the junk pile, just really, really upset. And again, we don't know much about her. We've only seen her sparsely talk to Rick. We know that she appreciates good leadership, and I liked that Rick's leadership was bringing out something different in her. The fact that he bested her twice with both of those Winslow monsters, and just kind of showed her up, like, hey, like, I'm boss, and I'm going to show you again. That's why I was kind of disappointed in the mid-season finale when they ran away. They were at the sanctuary, there was gunfire, and then they just took off. Just contract null and void once again. So I was like, well, what the hell's going to happen to the junk people now? So it looks like the Saviors were aware that they tried to attack them, and I guess they're just all going to die, except Jadis. I mean, we didn't know any of the junk people anyway, except Jadis. She was the only person that was... She was the leader. She was their leader. She was the only really named person of that group. You could see the same for the Ocean side, kind of. I mean, Cindy was Tara's friend, so she actively helped her. And then, of course, you had the Natanya, the fucking older chick who got shot randomly by Enid. And they kind of set that up at the end of Season 7 when Enid had the gun behind her. So there was some foreshadowing there, I suppose. So good forward thinking, I guess. But, it's gonna, I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. I have to believe, I mean, who's gonna be in charge of the Ocean people now? I mean, I guess Cindy, I mean, it was her grandma who died. So if they're gonna say succession, I don't know how the hell they do it. So it's gonna be tough. I mean... You got Enid, who's about Cindy's age, so would she really kill another person her age? Like, I don't know, it's going to be tough. It's probably going to be some heated dialogue, and I think they'll reluctantly join. I just don't know what the form of their participation is. There'll probably be much needed reinforcements, kind of at the last minute. Again, it's going to depend. But I'm glad that we're going to get some more clarity on these two groups that... They show up every once in a while to counterweight. They kind of counterbalance the odds. Whoever's side they're on. We saw that in the Season 7 finale when the junk people were on Rick's side, then they turned against him, and Rick's was suddenly, oh shit, I'm screwed. So, you know, it's going to be, for me, interesting because I like the extra lore elements that they put into The Walking Dead. So we're gonna get that. It seems like the first part of this episode is going to be them clearing out Alexandria of all the zombies, and some of those houses looked like they didn't even get touched. I mean, I know Rick's didn't get touched because Negan said he was going there to make spaghetti, so, I mean, fucking whatever, but... I mean, he said to blow up every other house, and I mean, just, jeez, I mean, Alexandria is destroyed. I mean, they fucking took away the solar panels, and, yeah, I don't know, man, how many times can you rebuild? I mean, after the Walkers freaking got in the first time and ruined the place, and now the Saviors got in and are ruining the place. I mean, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So yeah. Oh, another thing. I guess I'll end the video with this. I am so looking forward to Negan's reaction to Carl being killed, to dying. That's the preview where Negan says, "You set this course, Rick. Who's next?" And Rick angrily yells into the walkie, "Oh, it's you. You are." And yeah, I just... Because Negan liked Carl. He said, if I had a kid, I would want him to be just like your kid. Which, the only thing is, I don't understand why he threatened to kill him last season. Because he doesn't kill kids. I mean... He almost did. If Shiva hadn't jumped out and bitten his soldier and scared the shit out of him, he would have fucking followed through with that swing. I don't know. I thought that was kind of stupid. I mean, Negan has shown time and time again that he respects the living shit out of Carl. And I don't know. Maybe he was just really, really pissed off in the moment because Sasha, they tricked him. They tricked him. And he was probably... He had his feathers ruffled and he wanted some vengeance. So, I don't know. That's the only way I'm justifying it. But... still, again, it was a solid premiere, man, and it made me... I just liked the way they used the cinematography, and as a writer myself, I always respect the way the show is structured. When they go outside the box and think of different things, as gross as it was, ripping the guy's guts out through his wound was It hasn't been done the show before in 8 seasons, so that's something new. So that's about it for me. The Lost and the Plunders episode 10 reaction will be up this Sunday. Again, if there's gaming footage or anything on my end that I want to put up, I will do so. But as you guys have probably noticed, I mean, content, it just gets sparse on the channel when I'm busy. You know, just a lot, as more and more time goes by, a lot more and more gets put on my plate. And I kind of described that to all of you guys last year when I did my 7-year channel anniversary, that there would be changes. And I know I'm not uploading as sporadically as I used to, but I mean, I'm open to video ideas. You know, it's just, for me, I turn on this XSplit and start filming whenever I think of an idea, or just the topic for the video, so the video doesn't run stale, because I want you guys to be entertained. You're obviously looking at me. I didn't even used to make videos like this. They used to be just pointed at my TV, and there would just be my dashboard for whatever gaming console I had on. So again, I don't really do the gaming stuff anymore. I mean, there's a lot of games coming out this year, but even when I play them, I just play them on my own time. I don't do the playthroughs anymore. I feel like there's plenty of YouTubers out there doing that, and I think my footage, it's probably always what it should have been. I always should have just been doing little gameplay clips and highlights and things that are of value, because the playthroughs don't necessarily yield that. Because a perfect example, last year, Assassin's Creed Origins, it was a really good Assassin's Creed game, but I only ended up uploading a few videos here and there from it. So yeah, it's just kind of how it goes. So seems like a lot more of my subscribers as of recent are Walking Dead anyway. But again, everything I've talked about before, no need to divulge again. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any predictions, or how'd you feel about the episode, the reaction video has been received well. I appreciate that. I have to fight YouTube's stupid restricted advertisement crap, not advertiser friendly, blah blah blah. It's just like copyright claims now. I have to go into the video and say submit a review request. It's just the same. It's just another layer of frustration that YouTube has to add on again. Like every year, their website just declines. I mean, most YouTubers can't even really do this for a living anymore. They need Patreon. They need to be given donations to even sustain doing this. And hey, deep down, I knew that. I knew that the gravy train of the YouTube ad revenue, I mean, one good thing never lasts forever. And I think 2012 was probably the last year of the stable ad revenue. And a lot of partnership companies, including my own, had to kind of switch up contracts when that happened. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will see you for next Sunday's reaction. I mean, hey, every Sunday from here on out, we're going to have reactions until probably first or second week in April when the Season 8 finale concludes. I am thinking of doing something very special for the finale of Season 8. I have to kind of get things together for it. It's going to be a different kind of reaction, a special kind of reaction video. But I have to kind of figure out if it's going to work. I think that's what, and I know, again, I don't want to spoil it, but it's something different than I've done before, and I feel like I've been doing these all of Season 6, all of Season 7, and then so this is going to be my third. This is going to be like my third straight. So this is going to be my third season of having done an entire, like, all of the episodes of one season of The Walking Dead reacting. So third time's the charm. I've done different stuff, different special things every now and then. I've had different guests in my reaction videos depending on who's available. People just kind of come and go based on who's available. Like my friend Jack was busy last Sunday. He wasn't able to be in it, and it was just me and Pete. So I think he might be back this Sunday, but again, like, he's very busy. All my friends are very busy, so we're not in college anymore. We were in college last year when we were doing Season 7, but now we're not. So people are doing different things day to day. So just kind of comes and goes, and that's kind of what to expect. So again, thank you guys. I will see you later, and peace out.